Hey everybody, Brad Linder back at you again for another card of the day. And today I'm going to be doing Link from Nintendo's Legend of Zelda. Give me just a second to share this over. And we're going to knock this out real quick and have a little bit of fun with it and see how far it goes. Hopefully it'll be fast enough to get something done. At least the penciling as always, but I'm going to see if I can get a little more than that, but we'll go from there. So that's shared over, and we're live on the YouTube station as well as on the page here. So what I'm going to do is, like always, just start this out and get it going and knock it out, because this is kind of a fun one for me because I just finished spending the afternoon playing some Wii U with my daughter, which busted me up because she has the Nintendo Smash Brothers, and we love playing that game and competing to see who we can, knock out the most rounds and whatnot and build up the stats, because that game is ever evolving, so it doesn't get old, because you can add more and more characters as it evolves. So anyway, it's a blast, and we've got other games and stuff we play too, but that's, what she's interested in, so that's what we do. And I don't play mini games at all, but once in a while, I'll play games with her because of the fact that that's just something we like to do when we hang out, so we don't have to worry about that. Pretty cool. But Link was the inspiration of the day from that game, and I thought it would be really cool to knock one out and see what it looked like in my style, because I haven't done Link in probably, I don't know, maybe 15 years or so. I mean, it's a long time. I mean, I've done him since, I've drawn him a few times since high school, but man, I was an 80s kid, so I grew up with the original, and we're talking 8-bit, so 8, 24, 8, 16, 24, 34, or 32 and on up, and I'm just throwing random numbers out there, being sarcastic, of course, but I don't want to sound like an idiot, but too late. No, seriously though, no, we dig these games, man, and it's something we get to do together and hang out. So I really dig these things, and the characters are always evolving, and I love the games, but I don't get to play much because of the fact that I'm always working and whatnot. But I make that time. Of course, you got to. You're going to do the family thing. You got to make that time and do it right. But this is a character I've always been fond of, and he's like the original underdog of Nintendo. I mean, everybody thinks that Mario is the true underdog, but I tell you what, man, Mario's he's like the Mickey Mouse of Nintendo, and he's pretty much like what Mickey is to the Disney clan. It's one of those things where he's always going to be top dog no matter what, and I think Link gets a hard rap for that he doesn't. Yes, I just gave him a little bit of a Michael Jackson nose because he's got the elf thing going on, man. So don't knock it. Don't hate me. So, but anyway, yeah, it's just one of those things where he is an underdog. He is a true underdog in the series because, if you think about it, they've always played Zelda to be more of a hero than Link. I mean, Link has to fight off everything, and he has to be the guy at the end of the day, but he's not near as tough as Zelda is, so he always gets busted in that regard. And it's one of those things where I just really appreciate the character and the underdog effect, and everybody likes the underdog. Everybody wants to see the underdog win, and unless you're just cynical and you're favoring the villains, which that's okay too if that's your thing. There's got to be people that like the villains too, because then you know, you got to root for the dark side once in a while. And if there were no villains out there in the world rooting for the dark side, then we wouldn't have the heroes that we need to stop them. So, you know, not everybody's gonna like the heroes. It's okay. It's okay. But what? Someone doesn't like a hero? Oh no. But yeah, it's one of those things where you just have to kind of either like him or you don't. And I always like that about the character too, because of the fact that you can push it. You know, um, you're either a fan or you're not, and I love that about the Nintendo universe just as much as Disney or anything else. Now I've mentioned it, being a comic book guy, watch out, you know, Disney will try to take over Nintendo or vice versa. It'll be bad, but you know they're already in bed with them, so you got to watch out, man. They're already partnering up with them because of you know, the Wii U stuff and whatnot, and you just got to watch out because they're in those franchises, and you have to be very careful because it's not about licensing anymore. It's about who gets the property and hostile takeover first. And I'm just saying, you know, I'm just being real here. So it could happen. It could happen. You know, they could jump on them and grab them, and that would be bad, and it would take them over, and then Mario would be Disneyized, which wouldn't be a bad thing. But you know, I mean, their movies and stuff are awesome, and I'm always going to be a Disney fan. But like I said, there's an extent to that. You know what I mean? There's always an extent to that, and we're going to get to the point to where Disney absorbs all these things and then leaves them in IP or intellectual property limbo. And that's a bad thing. That's a bad thing. And you know, we're just going to have to see what goes on with it. But I tell you what, though, it's for now, this dude is where he's supposed to be. And I really love this character, man. I really do. It's one of my favorites. They have such a great selection in that series. And I was first exposed to it, like I said, back in the 80s when the first Nintendo came out, the original Nintendo console came out. And it hasn't changed since for me. I love playing this character, and it's very cool. But I'm not too big on him not evolving, and I'm not big on characters not evolving at all. Like, you know, Marvel characters. That's the reason I loved Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man so much. It's because of the fact that he got to evolve. He almost hit 30, you know? He almost hit 30 because they let him get to like 26 or 27 in the books. And he had a birthday coming up, and it was, you know, he literally made 26 or 27, and then boom, gone. They revamped it, and I was just like, oh, so close. So close, man. But, you know, that's something I like to see, is characters evolve. And, you know, Batman the same way. He's been 40 for like 30 years. So maybe longer, you know. I mean, it's just, come on, let him grow a little bit, develop the character, you know. But it's just one of those things. I mean, I understand you can have your adventures and whatnot and just grow your characters a little bit. I mean, not literally, you don't want to do it like real time, because then you'd never have anything and you'd be out of characters in like 10 years. So, you know, you'd be like 45 years old starting out, and it's like, you know, he's a 42-year-old playboy and blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden it's, you know, 10 years later, and then he's like, and he's a crotchety and busted 50-year-old man that's been beat the crap out of like 50 times. So, you know, you have to be careful how you play that. But it's just one of those things, you know. I really dig the fact that continuity plays into that, and then you want to see them. Oh, I snapped my leg. Then you want to see them, you know, evolve a little bit. And okay, it's going to be one of those LEDs. This one apparently is a thin one, because I'm not pushing on that at all. But anyway, it's just where I see so many of these things come out, and there's, you know, Batman this, Batman that, or Disney this or Disney that, you know, and they never age, they never grow, they never develop. and these great continuity storylines are just kicked to the side, and it's like, nope, you got too old, reboot. Nope, sales aren't there, reboot. It's like, bore me to death. So, you got to move on with that. But that's one of those things where now I'm starting to see things shift, and new comics are coming out with characters that are a little bit older and a little bit more mature, and then you have characters that are going to be around for a little while and they'll move on. And I really like the evolution of that, especially in indie comics. A lot of stuff is shifting, and they're coming out in different ages and different ranges and stuff. Characters are coming out in the prime of where they're associated with the series, and I'm really starting to dig that. I'm not going to point out any series right now because I'm only starting to read one or two of them, and I want to make sure that they're good quality before I say anything, because they're going to last, and I want to see if they do before I say anything, because of the fact that most of the common things that I say I like tend to fall off, and it's just like, oh man, and then I'm just like, well, you ought to check out this series, and then it's like kerplunk. So, you got to avoid that. But I tend to not to brag about television either, because the few things that I do watch, I don't want them to disappear. And every time I've ever mentioned a series that I like, it tends to go to the wayside and just go, it's gone. I said I liked Firefly, and I know it's my fault. I said I liked Firefly when it came out, when the pilot came on, or actually when the first episode they premiered came on. They didn't premiere with the pilot. They did the pilot at the end of the series, which was ridiculous, but whatever. Anyway, when they did that series, I so wanted it to stick. And I was telling everybody, please watch the series so it stays on. Please watch the series so it stays on. And then it went away, sadly. And friends blame me. Why did you get me involved in this? I hate you. I'm like, I know. I hate me too. I said I liked it. They took it away. So, it's just one of those things where I got to where I keep my mouth shut about it. And now that it's over with, I'll say, I get asked all the time, what series do you watch and what series and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, well, here's the thing. I watch a couple of series that are on, and I'm not going to say which ones they are, but I'll tell you that I really dug Dark Matter. That was on Sci-Fi for a little while, and I knew it wasn't going to last because it was going too fast-paced. So I knew they were going to kill it, because anything that goes fast-paced, like Heroes Season 1 or Series 1 and things like that, they tend to burn out because they're overdeveloped storylines and so intense. It's like the original 24 that lasted for a few seasons and then it was gone. And I loved that show too. But the thing is I knew I wasn't going to watch it until it was done, because as soon as I said it was on, it was going to go away. Fringe, one of my absolute favorite, especially being a J.J. Abrams series. J.J. Abrams is freaking phenomenal. He's one of those guys that can put his name on it and it instantly turns to gold. Whether you like Star Trek or not, whether you like, any of the stuff he's associated with, it's just killer. And my problem was I was like, I'm going to enjoy this series. I watched it one time in season 1. I watched, I think, episode 4. And I was like, I'm not watching this until it's done. Then I'll buy it on DVD and get the whole story. And I have it on collection. I have it on DVD. And I tell you what, man, I was right on it, because I knew what was going to happen. And as soon as I told everybody I liked it in season 5, they killed it. I was like, I'm sorry. Well, have you ever watched Fringe? Oh, yeah, man, I watched it once. I like it, but I'm waiting for the series to end. Well, what do you mean you're waiting for the series to end? Just trust me, it's going to end. Oh, man. So, sorry again. It is what it is. So, c'est la vie. But, yeah, that's just crazy stuff, man. I really dig this series, and I wish it would make a comeback in a better quality animated series, because I love those cartoons when they were originally ran with Mario Brothers Superpower Hour, and I love that stuff. I wish it would come back and or make a good movie, but I don't know that they could be able to do that and make a decent run out of it unless they did it like Lord of the Rings and they ran it in a limited series and not just ongoing, because I don't think the source material would be strong enough to hold up for that. But I mean, it's got a good story for a video game, but I don't know if it would translate, because I know Double Dragon didn't. I know Mario Brothers is kind of a cult film thing, which is awesome because they have Bob Hoskins in it. And who else? I couldn't. I went blank on the rest of the actors. I could see them all, but I can't name them anymore. But anyway, just phenomenal actors are in there, and it was really well done. I mean, it was fun. It was a fun movie, but it's not a box office smash that people are used to. I mean, it's definitely a lower grade production and script wise, but it just doesn't. It's not because it's bad acting. It just doesn't translate. You know, some of those things just don't. And like I said, it was fun for what it was. It was like the original Judge Dredd movie with Stallone. I really like that movie. I really like it. But the thing was, it didn't translate because they didn't take an original film approach to it like they did later with the Carl Urban one, Dredd, which was a way better looking movie. But that again comes with age and effects and progress in the film world. So, you know, you have to take it with a grain of salt. It is what it is for the time. It's like the original Howard the Duck. Granted, parents, not age appropriate for the kids if you haven't seen that one. And if you have little kids, do not let them watch that. That's not for them. Wait for the new Disney one to come out. Howard the Duck will show back up, but do not let them watch that original film. You will be explaining things that you're not ready to explain to your young children. So just let you know, it is R-rated for a reason. So you don't see many R-rated movies anymore, but that one lives up to it, so don't do that, just from the implications. But anyway, we'll leave that there. So, you know, it's just one of those things. I love that movie, but it just has a different feel to it, you know. They did great with it, and I thought it was awesome. I really loved the original trilogy of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Great job. So maybe we can get a decent Zelda movie out of it, you know, at some point. Who knows? Who knows? I'm trying not to age him too much here because he has that elf thing going on, and I don't want to make him look too old. So I'm being very cautious with the old pencil here. Put a little bit. There we go. Cool. A little smirk on him. Got the big bright eyes, a cool smirk going on, and we got that going. Now I'm going to put a couple of little hash marks here to define the hat, because it's going to be a shadow mark right back here on that line, and we're going to go from there, kind of like that, giving a little bit of an edge. And I'm going to put this kind of bubbled mark right here on the fabric of the hat to show a little bit thicker line. And again, I'm going to bubble that out like that. So there we go. Cool deal. Now we have Link. I'm going to leave it like that right there. Pink. Cool deal. So now we've got him going on. I just wanted to share this with you guys real quick. Hope you dig it. Hope you have a great weekend. It's been a phenomenal week. If I catch you later tomorrow, awesome, beautiful. Great to have you along for another card today, which will be soon coming up. And we'll see how it goes, man. We'll see what the next one's going to bring. But I'm going to ink this guy up and we'll color him and then see what the next one is for the weekend. So, as always, I know this one's quick. I hope you dig it. Like I said, I will catch you guys tomorrow, and leaving you as always, closing it out. You know what's coming. We got this rock for a limited amount of time with this great party we call life. Let's leave it better than ever for the next generation. Talk to you tomorrow.